There's nothing wrong with being gay, but there's everything wrong with being a liar. So what exactly happens if you're determined to be a gay liar? Well, you just might be determined to be Poultry Paul, or Chicken Chuck, or Turkey Tom. Today we'll be examining the very real allegations that a certain Thomas has been fudging the truth. Join me for a deep dive. If you're this far in, it's almost certain that you know who Turkey Tom is. If not, let me explain. Turkey Tom is a YouTuber who covers a plethora of dramatic topics, usually involving other content creators ranging from gamers, streamers, and fellow drama coverage channels to musicians, political commentators, artists, and animators. Granted, he's also complained about more general topics earlier in his career, but nobody really cares about that shit. Now, to reiterate, the issue I'm going to be covering is not his sexuality. Everyone here understands that love is love, and this is the modern era. To quote Arnold Schwarzenegger,
I think that gay marriage is something that should be between a man and a woman.
But rather, the issue is his constant denial and playing off of being a femboy as a joke. Something I aim to prove to the point of being admissible in court. Not for being gay, just for being a liar. First off, let's examine the suspect post that prompted this video. On May 17th of this year, Turkey Tom, on his Twitter account @ZapTai, announced that he had deleted all of his prior tweets as a result of some massive DMCA takedown attempt that was affecting him and other friends such as Nicholas DeOrio. This is false. Tom was not doing this for the protection of his content, but rather for the protection of his ass. Ironic considering his tastes. Thankfully, if we navigate through his likes, which he failed to purge in the process, we can find plenty of evidence as to what those tastes are. To begin, we have an image of various catboys in the vein of the doomer version of the popular Wojak 4chan meme, which has been almost endlessly permutated to hilarious results as of recently. Funny as they may be, this to me is a clear sign that he's interested in a feminine male archetype of catboys, which are popular among the femboy community. As you can see in this specific iteration of the meme, he is actively scoping out femboys from afar, perhaps too intimidated to approach them up close. Next, here's an image of what would appear to be a Japanese female in tomboy's clothing. Harmless enough, right? Wrong. Upon closer examination of the images, we can see various, prominently androgynous features on this figure, including the rather large feet. To seal the deal, what does the caption read when translated? Of course! No clearer admission needed that Tom enjoys this aesthetic on men. In this anime image, we may also assume that it depicts another Japanese female in a more traditional female attire, a maid's outfit. But wait, here we can clearly see a suspicious article of clothing, programmer socks. For those uninitiated, programmer socks are a well-known staple of femboy chic. As this Know Your Meme article summarizes,
programming socks is a term given to specific types of these socks and thigh highs which became notable for often being worn by feminine-looking and cross-dressing the LGBT community. Now leave me the fuck alone, kid.
Now, this is a real-life version of another viral meme known as Among Us. It references an edit of a comic originally created by the artist Stone Toss, in which one of the characters is altered to resemble a character from the game Among Us, after he is repeatedly called sus. Two things stand out about this reference. One, sus is well known within the LGBT community as being a short slang form of suspicious, which is used to describe a covert femboy crossdresser, or a trap. Trap itself being first used in the famous Star Wars series, becoming a meme of its own. It's a trap! But also serving as the short form of entrapment, a criminal tactic employed by federal agencies to implicate otherwise innocent parties into committing crimes of their own. Most famously, this tactic is used on To Catch a Predator, which leads to...
Why don't you have a seat right over there?
2. Stone Toss is often seen as a comic artist who is immersed in the alt-right sphere, often called a Nazi by its detractors. The public perception of the modern Nazi movement seen online is their affinity for and involvement from the aforementioned traps. Several of his comics even illustrate the concept in relation to the digital right-wing environment and its perceived infiltration by federal agents. Clearly, Tom is familiar with all of this.
One of the most prominent memes in communities like Mumkeys, as well as communities where controversial political opinions are being expressed, is that government agencies are posing as members of them in order to gather information and possibly implicate those involved.
Japanese culture is another staple of the femboy community, as they often flip gender roles as a subject to their various comics and cartoons. It's no surprise that his likes repeatedly return to this kind of media. Here he is liking a picture of someone showing off the now infamous Ahegao hoodie. His love for anime would be his undoing, as in yet another subtle hint to viewers, the most prominently displayed face on this hoodie belongs to a trap. Continuously, this reaches into the darkest depths where we see Tom's obsession with homosexual imagery. It should also be considered that he seems to fixate on anthropomorphic characters, otherwise known as furries. The furry community is renowned the world over for its tolerance and inclusion of, and intersection with, the LGBT community. That being said, their attitude towards femboys is extremely welcoming. Is it any coincidence that Turkey Tom's Twitter username is @Zaptai, a callback to the formerly disgraced YouTube creator whose foremost representation of himself was an anthropomorphic teddy bear? Tom has openly talked about his admiration for Zaptai's content.
It's because, well, I am Zaptai. Okay, not literally, but I'm not afraid to admit that I admire the guy a lot.
Which as a matter of fact would include, but not be limited to, his persona. Furthermore, as the icing on the cake, Tom's preferred handle even involves another animal, the turkey, which is not unusual to find in the furry fandom. If, given the litany of evidence pointing towards Tom's proclivities, there still remains any doubt, there exists the smoking gun of this investigation. Prior to his massive deletion of his Twitter history, pertinent information was screen capped regarding our previous allegations, a heart-to-heart of his very own account. It's about time I come out of the closet on this whole situation. I've been wearing girls' clothing, skirts, stockings, sailor fukus, crop tops, jewelry, toms, etc. for about a week straight now, and frankly, it's pretty comfy. You might be thinking, wow, what a fat homo queer cock-sucking ninny, or something along those lines. But this is who I am now. Men make better women, and there's really no reason to deny this. We're already superior to them in every other way, so boy pussy is obviously going to make a better reproductive organ by far. Anything else is absolute cope. I'm muting this conversation, so if anyone wants to talk to me, my Discord is Tom. There is little question as to why Turkey Tom would want to cover such a thing up. Suffice it to say, perhaps the response wasn't quite as welcoming as he had expected. It appears Tom's critical nature has backfired, and in an effort to cover up the truth, he has scrambled to delete any evidence and cover his tracks as thoroughly as possible. Not thoroughly enough, however. Thank you all for joining me for this thrilling expose. Hopefully, after all is said and done, Tom can amicably come out of the closet and embrace his true self. Lord knows his fans, his true fans, who accept him for who he really is. And now that we're done fucking around, everything in this video has been a parody. None of the allegations are true, nothing is to be taken seriously, everything in this has been a joke. So, don't sue me, don't fucking email me, don't give me bullshit, I don't care, shut up, leave me alone, goodbye.
Objection!
I'm attracted to traps. I'm more attracted to traps. The mind of a guy and a dick. It's a woman, but way fucking better. I decided to tell people to draw more pictures of me as a trap. This is one of my personal favorite trap drawings. I'm gonna give this trap an 8 out of 10. On this document, I've compiled my favorite trap drawings of me. A submissive trap, a bottom trap. Now, I do like this trap. I like this one a lot. So yeah, overall, I do like this trap. Pretty good trap. This is a perfect 10 out of 10 trap, personally, but it is a good trap. It's not a trap, so this gets a 1 out of 10.